folks, good evening to you one and all, and I'm looking forward to tonight. Knockhill is where we're going to be, and it's going to be in the Mazda MX-5s. And believe you me, it's going to be close. How close? Stupidly close. How close is stupidly close? Well, what I was watching just now is the top 13. Luister gou mense, the top 13 within 1 second of one another. That is going to be a indicator of how things is going to be. It's going to be utterly magic stuff, there's no doubt. So yeah, let's get into it and let's see who's going to be out there. The likes of Raymond Duggan, Graham Stephen, Leon van Wyk, Carl Lawrence, Willem Botha, Michael Stephen, Timothy Stanton provisionally down in 7th, J.J. van der Merwe, oh, that's his favorite color, Gerald Maget in the 99, Herman Lazarus, he's got an open day at his business on Saturday, Wesley Lewin, Leonardo Bakari, and that ahead of Peter van der Spey at the moment, provisionally. Jan Engelbrecht. Swace Hubert still to put up a time in the Oreo. Oh, that's not going to work. He's not going to get a clean lap out of that one in the Oreo car. Paul Webber had a lovely practice with him on Sunday night. It was nice and even. Paul Webber pops up into 14. Swace Hubert is out there as well. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be so good. Already the top 8 are within 7/10 of a second of one another. Sandro Bakari under pressure. To the best of my knowledge, it is a championship, the Grandmasters, that's been led out by just a smidgen by Captain Peter van der Spey. But I must say, Sandro Bakari is having an ace season so far. So, yeah, it's going to be brilliant stuff. A massive big thanks to Jalen Performance coming on in the latter part of the season to help assist us with the necessaries. And Jalen Performance, keep that one in mind. A big thanks to them. Gerald Ferry also coming on board to say I'll help things out. And then also Mr. Bakari Senior also coming on board as well and saying, don't worry boys, we'll sort out whatever we need to for everybody for the end part. The last 4 meetings of the season. So as we wait for the computer to bring it all up, Raymond Duggan's gone to the front. The fastest man out there, Raymond Duggan. Okay, 200ths of a second. 200ths of a second I've got. 200ths of a second you still got to find. Provisionally alongside him is then going to be Graham Stephen as we're 7 minutes into it. Leon van Wyk in the being IT entry finds himself provisionally second row of the grid. Carl Lawrence comes into play once again, second row at the moment, keeping out the likes of Willem Botha, Michael Stephen, Gerald Ferry, Timothy Stanton. So Carl Lawrence has got a stonker of a lap in there. 55.79. 600ths is all that there is between Carl Lawrence and pole position. Raymond Duggan out of his skin at the front end of the pack. Amazing stuff as we see Carl Lawrence coming to 55.957. That's his. Leon van Wyk says, good evening, gents. Let's just take 2/10 out of everybody here. Well, 1500ths. 55.5. Surely nobody's going to get faster than that. That'll put Leon van Wyk and Raymond Duggan on the front row of the grid. Graham Stephen and Carl Lawrence on the second row of the grid. That man that you see there, Willem Botha, alongside Michael Stephen, provisionally on the third row of the grid. Gerald Ferry will not take that lying down. Don't you believe that Gerald Ferry is going to be happy pulling away in 7th position with all of these cars so close? I predict chaos. Total, utter chaos. And Having said that, I hope it's going to be a great race. But I think it's going to be utterly brilliant. There's no doubt about it. Leon van Wyk, the fastest man out there right now, ahead of Raymond Duggan, the only man to get into anything lower than a 55.7. But as you can see, the top 12, it was the top 13. Now it's the top 12 already with 8 minutes 57 that has been completed. Raymond Duggan still out there on track. Is he just going to go back to the pits, or does he fancy doing another lap? Well, he's going to try and get that pole position from Leon. Can he possibly do it? Will he stay on the wrong side of the circuit? Yep, call it the wrong side of the circuit. Willem Botha, can Willem make it back to the line in time? Yes, he can. Willem Botha is going to have one last bash at getting himself up at least onto the second row of the grid. But Michael Steven, nope, he's not going to be able to make up another lap, so that's as far as Swayze Hubert pops up in the Oreo car, and that ahead of Gerald and Timothy and Sandro. Peter van der Spey, oh, no, that's not going to work. That's the problem with these MX Mazdas. Once the tail end gets happy, you can forget it. JJ van der Merwe down in that 13th position. That's the last corner, but he's got 4 seconds to get to the line. Not going to happen. That is probably where he's going to be able to start. He's not going to get any further than that. So there's the quali. 2 25-minute races is going to be coming up. Knockhill in Mazda MX-5, round number 9, season number 11 that we're going into, and there is your grid. Leon van Wyk and Raymond Duggan. Raymond Duggan, brilliant. Top qualifier in my book. Leon van Wyk once again right up front there. Graham Stephen, Carl Lawrence, brilliant. One of his best so far. Willem Botha, Michael Stephen, Swayze. Lovely Swayze up there ahead of Gerald and Timothy. Sandro outperforming Captain Peter van der Spey initially with Herman Lazarus and Paul Webber in there as well. Let's just go a little bit further back, and there you can see the balance of the field as they are out there on track. Johan Engelbrecht and Leonardo Bakari are going to be bringing up the tail end of the field, and there you see Peter van der Spey in there as well. So, whoa, this is going to be brilliant stuff. Let's have a look from upstairs. There we go, from our Jalen Blimp. Let's see how this one is going to play itself out. Are they going to do one lap around? There is the pace car up front. On the right-hand side, the Being IT entry. On the left-hand side, Raymond Duggan. Graham Stevens, second row on the right-hand side. And then Carl Lawrence up there alongside him. Then it's Willem Botha and Michael Steven. Michael Stevens, third row on the left-hand side. That's the red and blue that you can see there. And, yeah, there they get it off the line. Man, oh, man. I tell you what, go and light up a fresh one. Pour a full one, because you're about to see action personified. That's my word for the night, personified. Season number 11 has been amazing stuff for West Bromwich Sports and GT Masters and Grand Masters as they work their way through. Keep an eye on the likes of Gerald Furry. He'll be working his way through. Timothy Stanton, one of the top performers for the 2024 season 11. I'm sure JJ van der Merwe is going to fancy making up a couple of places from there. He's just got to stay out of the melee. And those first 2 corners is not going to be easy whatsoever. I think you're going to find that strong downhill drop that they've got to do is going to affect them pretty badly, because that's not an easy spot to come through at high speed at all. Off they go along the railway straight. Pace car still in there. Leon van Wyk and Raymond Duggan. Oh, what are they going to do when they go down towards turn number 1? Apart from panic, it's going to be hectic. I hope everybody gets through turn 1 and turn 2, but I don't see it. I literally cannot see it. It's just too close the way that they are. Pace car pulls off. It's time to go. It's going to be Leon van Wyk in the Bean IT that gets the hammer down and works his way down towards turn number 1. Leon's done it all right. He's got Raymond Duggan that's in there behind him. Graham Stephen has come through just ahead of Carl Lawrence. Then it's Willem Botha as the next man in there. Michael Stephen. Oh, tap on the side of the cannon car. And that's going to drop Carl Lawrence right down after that brilliant initial qualifying and practice session that he had. There's Willem Botha. Behind Willem Botha is Swayze Hubert. It's Gerald Fourie. Timothy Stanton that was alongside him, now in there behind him. The leading masters is Sandra Bakari from Paul Webber, but at the front end of the field, it's getting pretty tight between Raymond Duggan, who out-qualified Graham Stephen, but Graham Stevens decided he's going to climb in there right now and see what he can do. There they come into Taylor's. That is the final corner to complete lap number 1. There's the whole crew coming through. Everybody looking quite fine. JJ taking a bit of a wider line as they come through there. Leon, Graham, Raymond, Michael, Willem, Swayze, Gerald, Timothy, Sandra, Haran. That is the top 10. Diving out on that inside line is Raymond Duggan, trying to have a look. A bit of a gap back to Michael Stephen, but Michael Stephen, I think, will be wanting. Oh, Willem Botha actually got past Michael Stephen. JJ's gone off. JJ will come back onto the circuit. He'll get that one sorted out. Wesley Lewin passed JJ van der Merwe. Peter van der Spey also passed JJ at that stage of the fight. You can see the Oreo car has gone off as well. Nobody as yet has actually gone into the pits. The man at the front end of the field, that's Leon van Wyk for Graham Stephen, Raymond Duggan, Willem Botha, Michael Stephen, Gerald Fourie, Timothy Stanton, Sandro Bakari. They all coming through there one after the other. Brilliant stuff. Everything we hoped for, wished for, and more at this stage of the fight. Let's go to the intervals as we pick up with our lead car. The being IT car of Leon van Wyk puts in the fastest lap. In that 5th position is Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen now starting to put the pressure on. We're right on board with Michael Stephen. He's in there behind Willem Botha. Goes in just a little bit deeper later there on the apex is Michael Stephen. Now you try and keep it flat foot all the way through here. Feather it lightly, blind over the crest. That sausage curve on the inside is a problem. Michael Stephen did a brilliant job of that, and that's why he closed up onto the back end of Willem Botha. Carries brilliant speed, but goes just a little bit too wide, but didn't lose out too much at that stage of the fight. Michael Stephen very, very close onto the back end of Willem Botha. Is he going to go into Taylor's on that inside? Willem tries to close it off. The two of them make light contact. Unfortunately, Willem moved across it just a little bit late, and that did make a difference. Raymond Duggan is the man with the best view in the house. Leon van Wyk's on the outside. It's Graham Stephen that's up on the inside line. Surely Leon has got to give way because of that right hand. Oh, he went in so hard and so deep. Did Graham Stephen put up the last lap? Leon van Wyk sees Raymond Duggan, the man that started alongside him on the front row of the grid, coming up right in there behind him. It's a 2-second gap through behind that, back to Michael Stephen that had that bit of a touch incident. Then there comes Gerald Fourie. Timothy Stanton has not managed to get past Gerald Fourie, but he has stayed with him. Sandro Bakari, he is ahead of Peter van der Spey at this stage of the fight, but he's got Herman Lazarus from Authentic Autos right in there behind him. Then it is Wesley Lewin, our new sponsor. Then it is Johan Engelbrecht. He's got Peter van der Spey right in there behind him. There won't be much between the two of them, but we've got to go back to Leon and Graham. Look at that. Graham in the Marlboro car going over the start-finish line, covers that inside line. He thinks he's got enough to be able to stick it out there. He knows exactly what he did to get past Leon van Wyk, and he felt that he was in there deep enough. But the man that's coming to play is Raymond Duggan. Raymond Duggan has a look around the outside. He uses that curbstone. He'll have good drive now up the hill. He'll be right onto the back bumper of a Leon van Wyk. They go over that sausage curve. It's very, very difficult. Once again, Raymond Duggan going just a little bit wider with the others at that stage of the fight. In the meantime, Timothy Stanton still on the back end there of Gerald Fourie. Gerald Fourie in behind Michael Stephen. But look at the battle behind that. Wesley Lewin with Herman Lazarus and Sandro Bakari. And Wesley, let's go on board with Wesley and see what it looks like when you got that high-speed train there directly in front of you. That's what it looks like. Now, I said there was going to be a whole lot of crashes and what have you, but there hasn't actually been that many crashes. The first one that actually was registered as a crash, this was Leonardo Bakari. That's through turn 1, going into turn 3, Doofus Dip into McIntyre. McIntyre, the tail end just gets away from him and all by himself. But you've got to carry maximum speed through there. It's one of those things. Let's have a look at Willem Botha. Willem Botha coming towards Taylor's, the final corner. Turns it in kind of early. If you gear down to first gear at that point, that was the tip that came from behind, I think. It looked like a light tip, possible. It is what it is. As we go back live and we go back to Graham Stephen, that's what he sees behind him. That looks great. The problem is this. It's Leon van Wyk that's right in there behind him as they work their way down the front main. There you see Graham Stephen, Leon van Wyk in picture with Raymond Duggan and Michael Stephen. And then behind that, a bit of a gap going back there. There's the balance of the guys, Gerald, Timothy, Sandro, and Herman. That's the blue one at the back that you see coming into picture there. But Leon van Wyk in the being IT, the back entry, having been passed by Michael. Ooh, look who's coming to play. Michael Stevens in the house. He's right in there behind Raymond Duggan. Now, I'm going to take a fancy guess, and I'm going to say he was probably one of the fastest guys on the last lap. Let's see. A 56.3, a 56.9, 56.6, 50. Yeah, that is why he's the fastest of those four. They go side by side. Leon in the being IT car having a look on the outside, but the Marlboro car is still quick enough. But the man coming into play now is Michael Stephen. He's broken away from Gerald Free. He comes right up in behind. Raymond Duggan's having the race of his life. Raymond Duggan is looking brilliant. He's going to go for a wide entry into the corner. He's comfortable with that one. Stay away from the curbstone. Carry it down. Miss the markers as you go through McIntyre out in towards Butchers as Michael Stephen is right in behind Raymond Duggan. Wesley Lewin's having a bit of a bash at the back end of JJ van der Merwe a little bit further back. He was right up to 0.1 of a second, and I think JJ in there behind Peter van der Spey might be slowing him up just a smidgen. I mean, Peter's on the pace, but when you're so close behind somebody, it just tends to hold you up just a little. With Johan Engelbrecht that's now going side by side with Peter van der Spey, and the two of them are going to jinx that one out. Johan Engelbrecht holds out on Peter van der Spey. Peter knows he's got to get a move on because JJ's under pressure. JJ's under massive pressure from Wesley Lewin. He dives across towards the inside to cover that line. It will hold the position coming in, but will it carry the pace coming out? He's probably going to have to stay on that right-hand side. JJ's stuck on that inside line now. He's got nowhere else to go at this stage of the fight as they work their way up over the rise. Let's go back to the front end. It's Graham Stephen that's still ahead there of Leon van Wyk. The two of them with a smidgen of a gap back to Michael Stephen, who I think has been marred just a little bit by the attentions there of Raymond Duggan. So I don't think that he is able to do whatever he wants because Raymond Duggan is so close, and the front two are yet again alongside one another. They must, I was just going to say they mustn't take one another out. Leon once again going for that wide line, and Michael Stephen up on the inside. Is this where Leon van Wyk, the pole sitter, is going to drop down into that third position? I do believe that Michael Stephen has got the line of sight there to the corner, and he'll probably force it on Leon. Now Leon's slightly ahead, but Leon backs out just a little. What a drift he gets through there. And then comes the other factor. It's called Raymond Duggan. It's the 71 MX5 of Raymond Duggan. We're 8 minutes 52 into the 25 minutes. Nobody has gone into the pits yet. Oh, Raymond Duggan a bit wide. Now, Gerald Fourie will be hoping that they hold one another up just a smidgen. Because if they hold one another up just a little bit, Gerald can go and fetch them. He's got enough space now between himself and there's Timothy Stanton up into 6th position, who has got a bit of a gap between himself and Sandro Bakari. So Gerald Fourie is on the hoof right now. Gerald Fourie 56.3, and he is quicker than everybody else in front of him. So Gerald Fourie is doing the business that he needs to do right now to be able to get up to that front group of four. And there is that front group of four. Graham Stephen, as he works his way through Doofus Dip, takes the right-hander into the left-hander, should I say, the right-hander into McIntyre's. Works his way down towards Butchers. Through Butchers he goes. Now the left-hander into the chicane, the right-hand section of the chicane, through the Brabham straight. Running wide is Raymond Duggan. It's Raymond Duggan that's gone wide. I think they might have actually made light contact. Up over the rise they go for Clark's. Now they're into the railway straight. Graham Stephen leading out from brother Michael Stephen, Leon van Wyk and Raymond Duggan, the two that were on the front row of the grid when we started this race. Gerald Fourie's closing, and he's closing fast, and he brings with him Timothy Stanton. There we go. Timothy Stanton's got that crash tape. He was obviously, whoops, somebody's gone into the pits. Who's that? It's Leon van Wyk. Leon van Wyk's gone into the pits, and he's realized that with Michael and Graham that's gone past him, he had a bit of a gap between himself and Raymond Duggan, and he decided, while there's open space, let me get through here. Timothy Stanton, that's got a bit of a gap now from Sandro Bakari. There's Sandro Bakari coming down there. He's got Herman Lazarus in there behind him. Then there comes Wesley Lewin in the 13 as he works his way through Doofus Dip. He's got a bit of a gap on Gerald Bouget, and then it's Paul Webber that's directly in there behind that. Coming out of the pits is Leon van Wyk. Going into the pits is Johan Engelbrecht, and Willem Botha is the man that's just gone past him with Leonardo Bakari. That's right in there. A big thanks to Leonardo Bakari stepping up to the plate after our request on our group this afternoon. Thank you, Leonardo. Swayze Hubert in there behind that, and there's the black car, Johan Engelbrecht in his favorite colors. Let's go back to the front end of the field. This Michael Steven has gone in. The Steven brothers have split up. Graham has stayed out there. He takes with him Raymond Duggan, a bit of a gap back between the three of them. And then Timothy Stanton has now come into play. He has closed up right onto the back of Gerald Fourie. He gave Gerald a bit of... Oopsie! Oh, that's Raymond Duggan that's gone. Is that Raymond Duggan? I'm sure that was Raymond Duggan that spun himself out. It must be. Oh, man, that's the last thing that Raymond Duggan readed right now. Did he lose it all by himself? Yep, there it goes. Nothing that you can do. And you look up the hill and you see the rest. Look how long it takes to get this back on circuit. Feels like forever. Put your foot down too hard, it just swaps ends. Gets it back on the track. Blind rise over the top of the hill. And off he goes up the railway straight. So, in last lap was Michael Steven. In this lap is Graham Steven. Timothy Stanton goes through to the front. What about Raymond Duggan? Raymond Duggan's going to go into the pits now as well. What about Paul Webber? What's Paul Webber going to do is... Yeah, Paul Webber's going to go in as well. So Timothy Stanton, the only man in that front group that has not been out. So, where's Leon van Wyk? Here comes Leon van Wyk. Where is Timothy Stanton? Yo, that's wild. Timothy Stanton hits the front. There comes Leon van Wyk. Whoa, there's a big gap there. There's a massive big gap there. So Timothy Stanton still to go into the pits. Let's take those lap times away. Let's see who has been in and out for their pit stops. There you go. So that's why that man, Timothy Stanton, is so far ahead. 23 seconds. Now, what was the average pit lane time? Between 32 and 35. That is the gap that there has been to go into the pits, which means Timothy Stanton in. Leon van Wyk, will he make it past Timothy Stanton? I tend to think so. I really tend to think so, because as he comes up the straight, there's the entrance to the pits. Timothy Stanton, he's still standing in the pits. Where's Leon van Wyk? Here comes Leon van Wyk. He's pretty much alongside where Timothy Steven is standing right now. Timothy's still standing. He hasn't even had a chance to pull away. He's trying to get it into gear. Didn't want to take. Oh no, something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong for Timothy Stanton. He can't get it into gear. And he just drops right. Can you believe it? The last thing that he needed right now. And that takes Timothy Stanton a long way down. Not being able to get that car into gear straight away. And Timothy Stanton, in fact, is still standing in the pits. Has he got a technical glitch? It is realistically possible. There's our leader having done his in and out of the pits. How much space has he got? That is how much space he's got. Back to Graham. Gerald's up into the top three. Willem has got himself ahead of Michael by a smidgen. Then there is Sandro Bakari. He's the leading Grandmaster. So Raymond Duggan, after that spin, has a look up on the inside of the NGK car. And it looks like he's going to be able to make that one stick. Just behind them is Herman Lazarus. He's managed to stay ahead of... well, he's going to come into the pits now. That is Herman Lazarus coming in, which means that Peter van der Spey is going to be the next man coming past. There's Peter van der Spey, and Carl Lawrence is in there behind him as well. Remember, he had that little tip earlier on. I tend to think that that's going to be everybody. That's them done their pit stops. Yes, it is. They have. Who's the fastest guys out there? Well, it looks like There's nothing much in it. 56s for the front five. Let's go back to that front five. Leon van Wyk has got himself a reasonable amount of a gap there. Gerald Fourie on the back end of Graham Stephen trying to close it down. Michael Stevens on the move. Michael Stevens in on the Red Bull car. The blimp goes right across to the inside. Said, you go around the outside, boy. I ain't going to give you nothing. Oh, no, they make contact. What a pity about that. Willem was trying to move slightly towards the outside so that they had a bit more space. And, well, the man alongside him was going to have nothing of that. Michael Stevens said, you went to the inside line. You stay on the inside line. And unfortunately, the two of them make contact. And, yeah, that's a terrible one for Willem Botha. And he's now being trying to get going again. And in that trying to get going, Peter van der Spey decides, thanks, buddy. I'll just move into that 7th overall. That brings me closer to Sandra Bakari. There's now nobody between the leading two Grandmasters, being Sandra Bakari and Peter van der Spey, as we 16 minutes, 16 and a half minutes of the 25 minutes. Everybody has been into the pits. Willem Botha in there behind Peter van der Spey as they work their way towards Taylor's. Willem Botha will definitely... Oh, Peter made a mistake there, and that's going to cost him big. He had a little bit of a tip, and you have to lift off. If you touch that curbing on the inside, you have to lift off slightly, otherwise it swaps in and you're heading backwards towards the scene of the accident. And that did cost him, and that's Willem Botha that's now taken over that position. Peter's going to go for the dive down through the sweep, but I think there's going to be too big a gap for him to really make work of that one. 17 minutes 12 into this one. Leon van Wyk that leads out, but well, Leon van Wyk, let's just put a battle box up there that you can see what the actual gaps are. That's Leon van Wyk. In behind Leon is Leonardo Bakari, and then we have Graham Stephen. So a 5-second gap. Leon van Wyk, wow, fastest qualifier. 17 and a half minutes into 25 minutes race, and the Being IT car has got a 5-second gap. That is amazing. Barring unforeseen circumstances, he's going to come up behind Sway Hubert and possibly Carl Lawrence before the end of this race. He's looking pretty good. Next man in there is, in fact, Graham Stephen. Now, Gerald Fourie's been chipping away piece by piece, slowly but surely, towards the front end of the pack and where he likes to be in the top 3. That is Gerald Fourie. Michael Stephen, with that unfortunate incident that he had, he's now almost overdriving that car to really stay there in the game. He's 7 seconds off the back of Gerald. His chances of breaking into top 3 with nothing going wrong in the top 3, I pretty much doubt it. But Michael Stephen can't exactly back off because he's got some close attention, and that's from Raymond Duggan. Now, we know that Raymond Duggan is a front row contender, staying ahead of Sandro. Once again, Sandro Bakari in the NGK MX5 Mazda Season 11, round number 9. Sandro Bakari, that is just a smidgen of points behind Peter van der Spey, finds himself ahead of Peter on the track. The recovering Willem Botha comes through, but it's a long way back, and he's got himself a bit of space there from Peter. Peter managing to stay ahead of Wesley Lewin, but Wesley Lewin did a 56.9. Peter did a 57.4. That means that Wesley Lewin is on the hunt, but Wesley's got to try and get past Johan Engelbrecht first of all, because Johan Engelbrecht is out of sync. He's a lap down at this stage of the fight. Johan will drive for his position. Oopsie, somebody gone completely off the track there. He's going to get past. Was that, who was that was off circuit? Leonardo Bakari. Oh, Sway Hubert that went off track, methinks. Let's just have a look at that one. Was that up over the top of the hill? Yeah, it's very difficult to keep that one tight. You've got to carry as much as you can. He's right in there, Sways behind the Kyle. It's not an easy piece of circuit to get through whatsoever. So the best lap time of Leon van Wyk is slower than the best lap time of the man that is in second position, Gerald Fourie. Gerald Fourie has done a 54.94, a 9.8 by Leon. But Graham Stephen is even quicker than the two of them, 55.78. But Michael Stephen is even quicker than that. Sorry, he's a bit slower. Michael Stephen is on a 55.85. So he's the second fastest singleton lap out there amongst the lads. So, brilliant stuff. Utterly brilliant stuff. I'll tell you what, you couldn't wish for a better setup than what we've got here tonight. And as always, being put together by Luke Lucchese, that does such an amazing job of getting all of this stuff together for us. So as we 21 minutes in, Leon van Wyck's got no problems whatsoever. He's got 6 seconds on the next man that's going to be coming through, and there he is. It's Gerald Fourie. Gerald Fourie has closed a bit, but not enough. Then your next man coming through there is Graham Stephen. Then we've got Michael coming through, and then, what a brilliant drive, Sandro Bakari, and that ahead of Raymond Duggan that qualified on the front row of the grid. Willem Botha, after that unfortunate incident, finds himself further down than what he would like to be, and that's 7 seconds further back, but still ahead of Peter van der Spy. Look at the battle behind that. Here comes Wesley Lewin, Gerald Mazay, and Paul Webber is a bit of a gap behind that. Going back to Gerald. Gerald's having a pretty good run. He rounds out the top 10 with 22 minutes done. I did say it's going to be a crash fest. It has not turned out to be as much of a crash fest as what was expected. Graham Stevens starting to put the pressure now onto Gerald under the Beatson's Building Company bridge into the first corner. I drifted just a little bit too much there, not using that much of the curbstone on that side. Lining himself up, the shortest distance between two corners is a straight line. Yeah, he just played there with the accelerator as we do a lap with Graham Stephen. Takes it up the hill, carries good pace on that rise as they work their way along the last straightaway, going towards the last corner. Will Gerald Fourie need to close off? Nope, I think he's in good enough position. Very similar lines that take up and over the rise. Carry as much of that as you can. A little bit of dust, not a problem. Graham Stephen in that third position with less than 2 minutes to go. Is he going to go for a dive under the Beatson's Building Supplies bridge? He looks towards the inside line. He's trying to force Gerald to change his line to make him slower through there. Gerald was confident enough to say, no, you got to do a bit more than that, bar. Let's get, a snap there of oversteer, and that cost Graham Stephen. And that little piece that it cost Graham Stevens, that is the breathing room that Gerald Fourie needed to just make it a whole bunch easier. He carries lots of speed. He's going for it. He's going for it, and he's going for it big. At the same time, let's go and have a look at what's happening with Peter van der Spy, because he's in a massive struggle. Peter van der Spy, as he works his way through. Peter van der Spy's got the outer position, Jan Engelbrecht behind him, and then Gerald Majay with JJ in there directly behind that. They're having a fantastic time. Even though Engelbrecht is not on the same lap with them, he says, hey, I'm going to have fun with you guys. I don't mind. Gerald goes for the inside line. JJ goes for the outside line. Paul Webber's the next man that's going to be coming through there behind them. Let's go back to Gerald Majay. He's got a bird's eye view of what's happening in front of him. It's JJ. It's Johan Engelbrecht. Oh, makes contact with the back end of JJ. Does Gerald Majay, unfortunately, and that takes JJ right out of it. Gerald gets it going as quick as what he can. The next man that's going to be coming through there is, in fact, the recovering Timothy Stanton that had gearbox selection problems when he was in the pit, so that cost him badly. Graham Stevens still all over the back end, but our time is just about up. Where is Leon van Wyk? Leon van Wyk is going to get the white flag. So that's the last lap for Leon van Wyk. Let's have a look from upstairs. There you can see there is Leon. There is Gerald and Graham. And there is Michael. And then our leading grandmaster there is Sandro as he goes across the line. And then there is Raymond Duggan. It'll be a bit disappointed with this one, I tend to think. I don't think he'll be happy with that one. But give it up for Leon van Wyk. What a boykie. The Being IT entry. He's just gone from strength to strength. He's like the serious success story of late. I mean, even the likes of Gerald Fourie that consummately moved himself up through the ranks to get to where he is now. He was the brains behind Leighton Fourie's earlier part of his racing career. He now says, look, with what Leighton has learned, Leighton is utterly brilliant. And Leon will take that checkered flag. Here comes Gerald just ahead of Graham. Here comes Michael Stephen across the line. So he'll pick up the Stephen brothers third and fourth. Sandro Bakari. What a boykie. How does he get it right? Brilliant stuff, Sandro Bakari. Rounds out the top five. And that ahead of Raymond Duggan. A disappointed Willem Botha. He had a bit of a horror session last week as well. Brings the Red Bull entry across. Here comes Wesley Lewin. Behind Wesley will be Paul Webber. Oops, see, we got a bit of an off there in the background. I think it was Leonardo. Peter van der Spey. Here comes Gerald Mazet. Timothy Stanton won't be happy. Swayze Hubert. It's going to come across. Where's Swayze Hubert? How did I miss out on Swayze Hubert? Has he come across the line? There he comes now. So, that was amazing. A massive big thanks to Jalen Performance coming on board in the latter part to help us out with the last 4 rounds. And that with Leonardo Bakari as well. A big thanks to Leonardo Bakari and to JJ van der Merwe as well for coming on board and being of assistance as we come towards the last half of season number 11. So let's have a shofty. Let's give the computer an opportunity. And the computer, it's the only thing in life that's slower than me is my computer when it comes to bringing the results up. Let's just give it an opportunity to come up onto the board with us. We're going to go into a 3-minute warm-up. And while that 3-minute warm-up is going to be going out, we just give the computer an opportunity to link up with those positions. I think that was everything we expected, hoped for, wished for, wanted, and more. Let's be honest, that was good. Let's take just a little bit of a breather, and we're going to come back to you in a minute and a half from now. One minute to go with the 3-minute warm-up, and congratulations to Leon van Wyk. Brilliant win there. Very dominant. Brilliant stuff. Gerald Fourie, smooth as ever. The silent assassin, Gerald Fourie, coming up into that second position, beating out on the Stephen brothers. They somehow seem to be linked with a chain between the two of them. Sandro Bakari, utterly brilliant, beating out on Peter van der Spey, who's a deft contender in any case. You're not going to get around him very easily at all, believe you me. Let's just take the rest of the stuff off the screen for you. There we go. Raymond Duggan, great qualifying, pretty good race. Either way, just outside of the top 5 from Willem, Wesley, Paul, Peter, Gerald. Timothy won't be happy. Something went wrong with Timothy Stanton in the pits. We saw a couple of times he was trying to select and was not able to select a gear at all. And yeah, for some other reason, it just didn't want to work out for him. So the 3 minute is up. Let's go to that grid. On the invert, oh, Timothy's going to love this. This is Moody for Timothy Stanton. Gerald Maget alongside him. Peter van der Spey. Captain Pete's going to be on the hunt. Paul Webber in with a shout with all the big hitters behind him. He'll fancy that. Wesley Lewin right in there as well. Willem Botha is now actually in a pretty decent position because he's probably a smidgen quicker than everybody in front of him, apart from probably Timothy in a straight dice. But that means he's got Raymond Duggan, Michael Stephen, Graham Stephen, Gerald Ferree, Leon, all of those guys behind him, which is going to suit him perfectly at this stage of the fight. Let's go a little bit further down. Gerald and Leon finding himself 11th and 12th position. Now you've got the Stephen brothers in front of you. Probably going to find what they're going to do. Leon and Gerald will fight it out initially as they come off the line to do the warm-up lap. They'll fight it out initially for turn number 1, then climb in behind the Stevens brothers, knowing that they will not put together. They will go in one at a time. Probably expect for the Stevens boys to get towards the front end of the pack. Don't fight them, leave them, let them go, just follow them through. Be in an attacking position all the way through, and then once you get through the first 10, 11 minutes, then you get into a situation where you say, okay, right now, let's see what we can do from here. That's just my guess. Speculation. Swayze Bear finds himself in that 13th position on the startup, but Timothy Stanton will fancy this. He's going to love it. This is what Timothy Stanton loves, is an opportunity to get away, up dust and disappear. And if Timothy Stanton does get away, believe you me, you're going to have to really haul to go and fetch him. So with that knowledge in mind, Willem Botha has got to get the hoof in quickly, very quickly, before Timothy gets away. The likes of Gerald, Peter, and Paul Webber are not going to give those positions up. They're going to force every single person that wants to get past one hell of a hard ride, because they want to get the best results they can. So the first of the diving off the track and straight away, Timothy Stanton says, cheers boys, I'm out of here. Peter van der Spey says, where you going? I'm going with you. Gerald Maget going for that outside line. In there behind him is Paul Webber. Look at how they are fanning out behind that. The Stevens boys were eventually alongside one another. It was Willem Botha that went just a little bit wider. That'll make him a little bit slower, and they will close up behind him. He's ahead of Paul Webber and Raymond Duggan at this point of time. Oh, Raymond Duggan using a whole bunch of that. How he saved that. I've been over that curbstone like that before, and there was no ways I could save it. I don't know how he possibly got it right to save that one. That was utterly brilliant. Wesley Lewin in there behind Gerald Maget dives out, and he's going to try and get past Gerald Maget. Remember, he's already got Willem Botha. That's a Gerald guns wide. Gerald stays completely out of it. He doesn't want to get involved there. Oh, Willem almost lost it. Hell of a snap back there. You can see JJ coming off the back end of the pack. It's a long way down. Carl Lawrence is there as well. Who's going into the pits? It's Michael Stephen and Graham Stephen and JJ. Once again, it's three abreast as they come down towards the final corner. How did they all get through there? Sandro Bakari gets himself ahead of Swayze Bear with Jan Engelbrecht directly in there behind that. So once again, on the invert, the big hitters saying, I'm not going to get stuck in the traffic. I want to get out of the traffic and have a run of my own. There he is coming out of the pits. JJ van der Merwe, Graham Stephen, Leonardo Bakari is on his way in. He'll be coming back out of there as well. So Timothy Stanton, he's got the crash tape on. He's expecting the worst, but it's all going very, very well for him. Right behind him is Peter van der Spey. Wesley Lewin's doing a goodie. Wesley Lewin is doing a goodie. He's all over the back of Van der Spey. Paul Webber is trying to hold out the big hitters. Timothy Stanton's put up. Remember what I said? If Timothy Stanton gets away, you've got a problem, and your problem's called Timothy Stanton. Raymond Duggan right in there where it counts. Leon van Wyk start to work his way through. Leon van Wyk is already up to 6th, and he has just posted the fastest lap. Gerald Ferree and Willem Botha, nothing much between the two of them. Swayze Bear is in there behind them. You can expect them to really get going. Peter van der Spey is pushing Wesley Lewin. Peter van der Spey is on it. Oh, Wesley's going to lose it all by himself. What a pity. Just the pressure that came in there. You can see there's a fair amount of wind. If you look at the windmills there, the generating windmills in the background. So Peter van der Spey taking the opportunity, saying, Sandro Bakari, have a nice day. I'm leading the championship. I'm going to beat out in this one. Raymond Duggan directly in there behind there. Here comes Leon van Wyk. Leon van Wyk is right in there. He's got up onto the inside of Paul Webber. He's going to be in behind Raymond Duggan. Will Paul Webber give that one away? Yep, he has to. He doesn't really have a choice as Leon comes through there. Leon once again, fastest lap out there by Leon van Wyk. Paul Webber directly in behind him. Where is Gerald? Oh, there's Gerald. Gerald Fourie closing down on the back end of Webber. Webber's gone wide. That's going to cost him. Webber has gone just a little bit on the wide side and got himself onto the gravel. You wouldn't have got traction, and there you can see that is why Gerald Faurie's closed right up onto the back of Paul Webber. What a brilliant race this is. Leon van Wyk all over the back of Raymond Duggan as well. We have to keep an eye on that one, and he's going to dive it up on the inside. It won't be a fast section. Oh, don't make contact. Oh, that was just so close. There's somebody else that's going into the pits. That's Peter van der Spey. Well, I suppose he's now thought, okay, the big hitters are now starting to get to me. Let's rather duck. Let's not get involved in a fight and run into problems. Leon van Wyk is all over Raymond Duggan. Raymond Duggan has put up the fastest lap, but having put up the fastest, oh, got a bit of the tail end wag there and gets himself off the track, and that means Leon's going to close up onto the back of him. 4 minutes and 5 laps of the possible 27 into race number 2. I see going Paul Webber just going a little bit wide there as well. Leon van Wyk. Let's go on board with Leon van Wyk and see what that looks like when you're right in there. Look at that. You can't even see where the next corner is going to be. Oh, I think Raymond Duggan should have closed that corner off. I really think he should have closed that off. Raymond Duggan will probably be faster down the straight because of the line. There we go, as expected. And Raymond Duggan says, yeah, okay, so you think I'm on the long line. Watch this one. Boop, it's back in front he goes. Leon van Wyk in the being IT car in there behind Raymond Duggan. 0.2 of a second between them. Swayze Hubert now putting the pressure on Paul Webber, and that for 5th and a 6th position. A little bit early on the brakes there by Raymond Duggan. He's obviously trying to close the line off. He knows that he's quick enough to stay. Well, let's see. Is he quick enough to stay with Timothy Stanton? Timothy put up a 59. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey. Who went off? Who went off? Somebody just went flying off the circuit. Timothy Stanton. It's Timothy Stanton. Too much curb. Oh, man. Timothy Stanton speaking French, German, and Czechoslovakian all at the same time. He cannot believe it. He threw that one away. Wow, what a pity for Timothy Stanton. Oh, that looks like Paul Webber that's gone off, and he's way away from the circuit. So Paul Webber's going to drop a long way down. Leon van Wyk goes to the front. Raymond Duggan once again. Raymond Duggan's having a brilliant day. Gerald Fourie back in that 3rd position again. Swayze Hubert in the Oreo car just in behind that. Johan Engelbrecht having a nice round number 2. Carl Lawrence, after the problems that he had, holding on to that 6th position. Timothy Stanton, playback from way back. Can't believe it. Finds himself a long way down. Gerald Maget ahead of the recovered Paul Webber. Then Herman Lazarus is the next man to come through behind that. Then we find Wesley Lewin. Yeah. Well, that's the man from Jalen Performance. A big thanks to Jalen Performance coming on board with assistance in the latter part of the season, and that alongside the likes of JJ van der Merwe, Leonardo Bakari coming in there and being of assistance alongside the likes of Gerald Fourie as well. So aan al die mense sê ons baie dankie, ons waardeer. Willem Botha's got the fastest lap time, but he is a long way down. Let's have a look, see who has been in and out of the pits. We'll just wait for it to come back up onto the computer for us. Takes a bit of time for the, as I say, the computer's the only thing that's slower than me in this house. Leon van Wyk, Raymond Duggan, Gerald Fourie, Swayze Hubert, Johan Engelbrecht, Carl Lawrence, Timothy Stanton, Paul Webber, Gerald Maget. Ooh, Herman Lazarus gets it all sideways. Wesley Lewin, the man we just spoke about, Michael Stephen. But remember, Michael Stephen is in and out of the pits. So Michael Stephen is the leading man in and out of the pits. He's got 7 seconds on Sandro Bakari, who has also in the NGK car been in and out of the pits. Carl Lawrence, I think, has now been in as well. No, I think he just crossed the line by the entry to the pits. So Raymond Duggan putting the pressure on Leon van Wyk, saying, buddy, you got to move it up, because remember, of the Stevens boys have been in already, and Michael is the lead man that's been in and out. So now you've really got to pump in the fast laps, as Carl Lawrence has a look at the back end there of Herman Lazarus. Nothing much between the two of them. Graham Stephen is now trying to put the pressure on Sandro Bakari. But with Peter van der Spyt doing what he did in the previous race, Sandro Bakari is having none of it right now. Sandro Bakari has been in and out of the pits, finds himself a long way ahead of Peter van der Spyt. And, well, he's now going to make that one work for him, that is for sure. He needs to try and close up. There's only 4 more rounds to go. So, yeah, let's see what happened with that incident of Willem Botha. I just want to have a different view of that one. If I can pick that one up for us quickly. Moment, eine kleine Moment. Let's just have a look at that Willem Botha crash from the outside, because that one cost him pretty badly. Yep, that's when he went off. How quickly does he get it back on track? Oh, he tried to hold it as best he could, and eventually it just gets away, points itself in the wrong direction, and that is what cost him so much time, unfortunately. So, yep, that is why Willem is a whole lot further down than what he would like to be as we go back to the live. So, who's up front? After 10 minutes of the 25, it's once again Leon van Wyk, but he's not been in and out of the pits. Remember, Michael and Graham have both been in and out of the pits. They are first and second, of having Graham that's just gone past Sandro Bakari. So that is actually the market. Oh, but I tell you what, Leon is driving it so hard. But he's got to, because he's got Raymond Duggan in the house. And if they slow it up, there's Gerald. Swayze Hubert, brilliant ride by him. Swayze Hubert in the Oreo car, wow, he's really pumping it up. And Swayze puts in the fastest lap time. Swayze Hubert on song tonight, one of his best events for a long time. And in that 4th position of the guys that have not been in and out of the pits yet, Johan Engelbrecht is into the pits. And Johan Engelbrecht is probably going to drop down behind a couple of the guys that have been in and out, like Michael Stephen, that's already gone past. There's the pit lane behind him. But Swayze Hubert, wow. Swayze Hubert quicker on the last lap than Gerald Fourie. That's amazing stuff. A little bit further back is JJ van der Merwe. He was down in Cape Town recently. I didn't have a chance to get to see him. It was actually at Killarney International Raceway for the last event at Killarney. We will in fact be back at Killarney this Saturday, round number 6 of the Power Series. And it's going to be a full day's racing, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning already. But that's got nothing to do right now with Swayze Hubert. He's into the pits, and so is Gerald Maget. There he comes in now as well. So it all goes about the guys that have been in and out. Where is Graham Stephen? Graham Stephen is behind... it's Michael Stephen. That's the man we're looking for. So that's the lead man that's been in and out of the pits. That is Michael Stephen. He's got 8 seconds on Swayze Hubert. Brilliant drive by Swayze Hubert. Ahead of Graham Stephen. Leon's gone in. Raymond has gone in. Gerald has gone in. What is Timothy Stanton going to do as they've already gone in? There comes Timothy Stanton. Is he going to dive into the pits as well? Timothy decides that's a good one. Paul Webber decides that's the way to go. Herman Lazarus. There comes Herman Lazarus. And onto the pit exit is Leon van Wyk. And can he come out at the front end of the pack? Where is Michael Steven and Graham? Oh, Michael Steven just ahead there of Raymond Duggan. And then Gerald can't be far behind that. There's Gerald coming out of the pits as well. Swys Hubert is going to be all over him. There is Gerald Fourie. There is Swys Hubert. Graham Steven trying to go the long way around, and he just gets past. He gets past. Yeah, he got past Gerald Fourie, Graham Steven, Swys Hubert. Enough said. And then it's Sandro Bakari. Sandro Bakari is showing the way around this time for Peter van der Spy. Peter van der Spy a long way further back. It just didn't work out for Peter van der Spy in this one. But look, let's be honest. Peter's actually said to me recently, look, Sandro is driving exceptionally well. He is really pushing the buttons at the moment. Willem Botha a long way down. He finds himself behind Paul Webb. Willem Botha didn't have a happy last week. He hasn't had such a great this week either. I think he's going to be a little bit disappointed where he is. But it's just a case of go out there and go and do a bit more practice. And you'll find Willem Botha will be right up there with the Red Bull car when it really counts as he works his way onto the back end of Weber. But I think he's too far back to actually have a dive from there. Weber's actually doing a lovely job, I must say. Small gaps between the people in front of Sandro Bakari. You can see them all lined up there in front of him. The Oreo car of Swys that's done exceptionally well. In front of Swys it's Graham. Then in front of that is Gerald. Trying to make sure you pick up the maximum rev. Swys has a look up on that inside line. Is it going to work for him? It's very difficult. You go down to first gear there, but if you are turning and braking and doing the climb and you go into first gear together, the back end just takes a walk around. That's like pulling up the handbrake. It just does not work, so you've got to be very careful. Swys all over the back end of a Graham Steven. Graham taking a beautiful line through there, making sure that he gets that brake marker perfect. A bit of understeer for Sandro Bakari, and Sandro in that 7th position, and he's just gone past Leonardo. Oh, look at the pressure situation in front. Swys Hubert is on a flyer. Swys Hubert loves the Mazda MX-5, and they're not far ahead of him as Swys on the back end of Graham. Gerald not that far further forward. It's 6 seconds, but I suppose with these cars 6 seconds is quite a lot. A nice entry there by Sandro brings him right onto the back end of Swys Hubert. Can Sandro Bakari go for a move up on the inside of Swys? Is Swys confident enough to stay on that outside line? I think Swys Hubert's got to close that line off. No, he hasn't. Swys Hubert's not closed that line. Now he closes the line off. He says, where are you going? Where are you going, Graham Steven? Looking at all of this in the mirror. If we go on board with Graham Steven, that's how close it is in there behind him to the Oreo car of a Swys Hubert, and then Sandro Bakari behind that. Oh, light contact, and we would just happen to be on the right camera shot at the right time. Graham Steven gets going before Swys Hubert. Can Swys Hubert stay ahead of Jan Engelbrecht and JJ van der Merwe? No, they've got pace, and they work their way through. So there was a light contact there between the two of them, and that unfortunately with the two of them going off the circuit. Let's see a different view of that one. He just carried so much pace through there. I think he caught himself out, Swys Hubert. He just had so much pace going through there that he just closed up on the back end of the car directly in front of him. And yeah, the rest is all on film. Leon van Wyk, Michael Steven, Raymond Duggan, Gerald Fourie in the house. He's not out of it. He's a little bit further back. Sandro Bakari, utter brilliance. NGK Sparkplug sponsored car. Doing a lovely job of that. JJ van der Merwe has decided he wants to get back into this one. He's all over the back end of Jan Engelbrecht. Jan Engelbrecht's had a pretty good race today as well. as we 17.5 minutes into the 25. Everybody has done their stops so far, so we can take that one away. Just for interest's sake, have a look at the licenses. There's the A's, the B's, Paul Webber's a C alongside the Carl Lawrence. Everybody else is a A rating. Let's have a look at their safety ratings. Look at that, some very high safety ratings amongst the guys that is out there on track at the moment. Pit stops is all done. Who's got the fastest lap time overall? It is in fact the Oreo car of a Sways Hubert that has put up the fastest lap of the race. Well done to Sways so far. I'm sure there's somebody else that's going to have a bit of a look at that one as we watch JJ van der Merwe closing up. Timothy Stanton's putting it onto Sways now, the iRacing crash test vehicle in the hands of Timothy Stanton. Small gaps between first, second and third. If you look at it, Raymond Duggan, that's Peter van der Spey, that's right in front of him. Don't touch, don't touch, don't touch. The red and blue car a little bit further forward is his actual target. That is Michael Stephen. And the white car in front of that is once again Leon van Wyk. What a season for Leon van Wyk. And even Luke Lekisi was saying, wow, I can't believe the difference in Leon. He's just like plugged in. Peter van der Spey is going to go to that right-hand line, trying to cover that line, but I think Raymond Duggan will probably be able to have a run around on the outside. I think he might be able to make it stick. He won't take any chances at all. Peter van der Spey took a good line there. He's definitely riding the protective line, is Peter van der Spey, but in real terms, Peter should actually let Raymond go, because Raymond is in fact third in the race and coming up to lap Peter van der Spey. So by rights, he should actually say, okay, I'll tell you what, buddy, you keep on trucking. Raymond Duggan, just a little nibble there on Peter's back bumper, saying, come on, buddy, let's get a move on here. I've got to get onto the back of Michael Stephen. But Peter's putting up such a good pace. You know, in real terms, do you really want to give that spot away when you are that fast? I mean, this is for fun. We're 20 minutes into the 25. We're riding on board with Raymond Duggan in behind Peter van der Spey in 16th position. And tries to do the proverbial cutback. Now he's got to go for the inside line. There we go. That's what Raymond Duggan needed. But he now finds himself 4.6 seconds with Peter still on his outside. 4.6 seconds, the difference. And you can see there, Peter van der Spey now eventually yields that position. And look at the gap from Raymond Duggan to Michael Stephen. He's not, unless something goes wrong, I don't see him catching Michael Stephen. Looking forward from Michael Stephen, that is the lead car, Leon van Wyk. Now, if it was anybody other than Leon van Wyk, I think he would fancy himself to make a plan. Because, I mean, Michael Stephen is a deft contender in any race, in any car that he goes and he takes part in. But Leon van Wyk is Leon van Wyk. Oh, he goes in very deep, very hard. That's going to cost him pace in the straight as well. A little bit overzealous. Leon trying to break the toe, moves across to the right. As soon as Michael Stephen moved across, he moved back again. Sways Hubert is on the back of Graham Stephen in the Marlboro car. They're just a little bit further back on the same lap. Sways Hubert, will he go for the dive? No, he just goes in under braking. He's going to turn it up on the inside, and ooh, they make light contact. That was brilliant, Sways Hubert, making sure he did not take Graham Stephen out. Well done, Sways Hubert. That was a brilliant piece of recovery there. That could have turned into tears very easily. Leon van Wyk, what a man, what a boykie. Michael Stephen keeping the pressure on. Raymond Duggan, brilliant race for Raymond. Gerald Fourie, once again, well, he ended third in the first race. He's lying in fourth position now with 3 minutes to go. Sandro Bakari, brilliance, total brilliance, top draw stuff. Graham Stephen with Sways Hubert. That's the biggest battle right out, right on now on track. Sways Hubert wants through. He seriously wants through. I think he's loving it. He's singing and he's humming behind the steering wheel. Does the proverbial cutback, and does he get in deep enough? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Sway Sube try to do the cutback and stick it up on the inside, because at the end of the day, Graham Stephen will very quickly cover that inside line. He won't leave it wide open. So you've got to dive in as soon as you overlap his back bumper and show your nose. If you don't, he will just close you off. Oh, using the curbstones. Oh, almost losing it. There was Swaisube, and he did go onto the grass, and that negates the attempt to go into taking that 6th position. A 56.158 from Leon van Wyk as he goes across the line. He's being pushed hard now by Michael Stephen. Raymond Duggan equidistant behind that. Gerald Fourie has closed it down quite a bit, but just not enough at this stage of the fight. Looking at the gains and losses, 11 positions up for Leon van Wyk. That is utterly amazing stuff. 7 up for Michael Stephen, 4 up for Raymond Duggan, 7 up for Gerald Fourie. No reference to the cool drink. Sandro up 4, up 6 Sways. Brilliant Sways Hubert. Johan Engelbrecht and Sways Hubert, wow, completely out of sync with what they normally do, doing utterly brilliant stuff there. Timothy Stanton, dismal session for him today. Really not what he wanted, expected, and or hoped for. And it just has not played out in his favor at all today for Timothy. But I suppose he's a fair guy. He'll say win some, lose some. His dad being Rowley Stanton. Yeah, legendary family as a whole. Leon van Wyk, is he on the last lap yet? No, I don't think so. Let's have a look whereabouts he is. Where is the number 1 car? He'll come through now. I do believe the white flag has not been issued yet, so he's going to have to do another lap. Or will the computer kick in and say, you guys have had enough fun for tonight? I think we'll... Oopsie. Leonardo Vicari just went totally straight. So, is it going to be checkers for Leon van Wyk, or is it the white flag? It's the white flag. Can you believe it? With just 4 seconds to go, he came through to start the final lap. Michael Stephen, Raymond Duggan, Gerald Fourie, Sandra Vicari. After Sandra Vicari, it's quite a long way back to Graham Stevens, still in that fight with Swayze Hubert in the Oreo car. Johan Engelbrecht's got Willem Botha, who's just gone past him. No, it's Johan Engelbrecht ahead of Willem Botha as they go to the white. That's going to be a battle to the line. Don't think that they will let one another go whatsoever. They'll fight it all the way to the line. Leonardo Vicari, after having gone off there in the last corner, has in fact gone into the pits. He says enough is enough. He's in there with Carl Lawrence, who's there. Carl Lawrence has had, oh, there we go. That's the end of it for Leon van Wyk from Michael Stephen. It happened so quickly. From Raymond Duggan, Gerald Fourie, the next man that's going to come through there. Gerald Fourie from Sandro Vicari. Swayze Hubert, what a drive, Swayze Hubert, brilliant stuff. He must be smiling from ear to ear. That was awesome stuff. Well done, Swayze. 8 seconds back, Johan Engelbrecht leads the rest of the train through there. The rest of the train being Willem Botha, Graham Stephen on the line, JJ van der Merwe. Herman Lazarus comes through, says thank you very much, gents, that was great. And then Gerald Majay, who was 1 lap down at that point. Wow, love it, love it, love it. Everything we expected, hoped for, wished for, wanted, it was brilliant. And that was the feature race of round number 9 of 12 rounds of season 11. So let's see if we can get that feature race result up. As soon as the last car has gone through, it will in fact give us that. Oh, let's try again. Leon van Wyk, he's got to be like a serious contender for driver of the day. Although, quote unquote, Luke Lucchese, you expect Leon to be up there these days. He is one of the big hitters. So well done, Leon. Michael Stephen, as always, there were accounts. Raymond Duggan, brilliant. Well done, my man. Well done. Gerald Ferry, a third in the first race, a fourth in the second race. I'm sure Leighton will be pretty proud of him. Sandro Vicari beating out there on Peter van der Spey in the second race. He'll be super chuffed with that one, trying to close the gap on Peter. Swayze Hubert, I think he's going to be sportsman of the day. What a spirited drive by Swayze Hubert. Johan Engelbrecht, one of his strongest for quite a long time. Willem Botha will be disappointed. Somehow the last 2 weeks just haven't gelled for him, as also for Timothy Stanton as well. Graham Stephen down in ninth, not where he normally ends whatsoever. JJ in the mix, in the melee, having lots of fun. Herman Lazarus in the 69 car, just outside of the top 10 with Wesley Lewin down there in that 14th position. Carl Lawrence bailing out of it right at the beginning and saying, yeah, too far back, it ain't gonna work for me. So a big thanks to the guys that have come on board to make the last 4 meetings possible. Amongst that, Jalen Performance, JJ Fanamaba, Leonardo Bakari, all of them are coming on board as well to make things possible, and that is fantastic. And JJ, big thanks to you as well. So that's it. That was the one. That is the track that we were at today. Knockhill, lots of undulation, uphills and downhills there on that one. And that is the conclusion of Mazda MX-5 at Knockhill. Still around 10, 11, and 12 to go. From my side, Gary Fleming from Second Gear Productions. Thanks very much for joining us. Cheers, everybody. See you hopefully all on Saturday at Kalani International Raceway. Cheers.